Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining. I am Tim George with Integration Plumbers. Today we're going to be talking about OpenTelemetry and really how we can reduce implementation complexity and cut down on the data overload that using this protocol can come with. We all know that OpenTelemetry is an awesome standard for observability, but let's be frank, those costs can spiral out of control pretty fast. So today we're going to break down some everyday practical strategies to get those costs back where they belong. Does it feel a little too familiar to you? You've got this amazing, super powerful platform for observability, but now you're looking at a system that feels way too complex, and even worse, shockingly expensive. The good news is that there are clear, actionable ways to fix it. Today we're going to zero in on two of the biggest culprits that drive up OTLP costs. First, we're going to talk about how to slash the complexity of your initial setup. Then we'll dive into how to manage the overwhelming flood of data that it can create. So here's our game plan for today. We'll start by framing the OTLP cost challenge. Then we'll jump right into simplifying your implementation. After that, we'll tackle how to tame that data firehose. And finally, we'll put it all together into your very own optimization toolkit. All right, let's dive into our first big topic, simplifying your implementation. It's a fundamental truth in monitoring. As our systems get more and more complex, the cost to manage them skyrockets. So our first mission is to fight that complexity head on. And to do that, we've got 4 really powerful strategies. We're going to start with auto-instrumentation, then talk about centralizing your logic and collectors. After that, we'll get into the important ideas of controlling cardinality and why standardizing your naming conventions is a must. First up, auto-instrumentation. This could be your biggest time saver. Instead of having your devs write custom code for every single service, you just let the OpenTelemetry libraries do all the heavy lifting. This gets you broad, consistent coverage right out of the box. And it means your team only has to spend time manually instrumenting the really unique, tricky parts of your system. Next up, centralize your logic in the OTLP collector. It's going to save you a lot of time and headaches. Just think of it like a central processing hub for all of your telemetry data. So instead of messing with the configs for sampling or filtering in every single application, just do it once in the collector. This keeps your apps lean and makes your whole pipeline so much easier to manage. And here's a quick but really important one. Use OTLP as your native protocol. The OpenTelemetry protocol was literally built for this. It simplifies how data gets from point A to point B and makes sure everything's speaking the same language. That alone cuts down on so many headaches. Strategy number 4 is all about getting organized right from the get-go. Standardizing your naming conventions for traces, metrics, and logs is absolutely crucial. When your whole team uses the same semantic conventions, your data becomes searchable, becomes understandable, and it's infinitely more valuable. Next up, we need to touch on cardinality. On the left, that's high cardinality. It's a giant, chaotic pile of random Lego bricks. It's a mess, it's expensive to store, and good luck trying to find the one piece you need. But on the right, that's low cardinality. Organized, useful sets. This is exactly where we want to be. So how do we get to that nice organized side? By controlling our cardinality. The key here is to group your data logically. Instead of creating a unique metric for every single user ID that hits your system, you use a template like /user/ID. That one tiny change can dramatically reduce the number of unique time series you're creating, which directly cuts down your complexity and your cost. It's a huge win. On to our second major battle, taming the data firehose. So once you've simplified your implementation, you still have to deal with the sheer volume of data. The key mind shift here is stop thinking of it as an uncontrollable flood and start treating your observability like it's a product, one that has a real defined budget. Number one tool for doing that is sampling. The concept is actually really simple. You just make an intelligent decision to either keep a piece of data, like a trace or a span, or you drop it. By only keeping the data that's truly representative or important, you can just slash your data volume without losing those critical insights you need. So the first way to do this is called head sampling. Here, the decision to keep or drop a trace actually happens right at the very beginning, inside your application. This method is fantastic if you want predictable costs and your traffic is pretty consistent. The catch is you might miss some errors because you're making that decision before you even know if the trace will fail later on. Next up is rate sampling. This one happens on the server side, and it's your go-to when you have a hard budget to stick to. Think of it like a bouncer at a club. It puts a strict cap on how many traces get in per second. It's perfect for handling those unpredictable traffic spikes and making sure you never go over your cost limit. Finally, we've got the most sophisticated option, tail-based sampling. With this method, the decision to keep a trace is made only after the entire thing is finished. This is so powerful because it lets you create really smart policies like, hey, keep 100% of traces that have an error, or keep all traces that are slower than 500 milliseconds. You get the best possible data, making sure you never miss all the important stuff. Whether you use head rate sampling or tail-based sampling, you're transforming that overwhelming data hose into a manageable, useful drinking fountain of valuable insights. So let's bring it all home and do a final review of your new optimization toolkit. These are the key strategies you can start using right away for a much leaner and way more efficient OpenTelemetry implementation. Here are the key takeaways. Make sure your system is simpler. You're going to use auto-instrumentation and centralized logic in your collectors. To keep your data organized, you'll control cardinality and standardize your naming. And to manage that data volume, you pick the right sampling strategy for your needs. Together, these tools can give you a complete control over your OTEL costs. Well, that's it for today. Make sure to visit us at www.integrationplumbers.io. Thanks, and hope everyone has a great rest of your day.